Our regular meeting, oh no, that's it. Okay, so that's our 2 meetings. Okay, Lone Star Disc. No, I guess I'm wrong. No?
I'll call them back and see if they can.
Make it for the
Yeah,
next one?
like I said, I left a
Okay.
message, never heard back from them.
Okay, okay. Received comments from the public then. Richard, do you have the signing list? I bet everybody's here for the disc golf course and he didn't show up. Huh? Okay, Mark.
Good evening. Thank you all for giving me a chance to speak. And that's exactly why I did want to come. I typically make this meeting virtually, and I thank Dee for making that possible for us. But I did want to come and express my concerns about not only just the disc course, but really any kind of organized thing that might bring in additional people, especially from other places that are having a lot more crime areas, issues than we do, and we certainly have enough of our own already. But as I listened, I actually listened to his presentation again, and I get it that it was very fluid and things just weren't decided on, and today was going to be the more formal. But there was just a lot of flags that I saw as I examined how he was presenting it. He expressed that he would bring in trees, but then he turned around and said a couple of trees. Or something. He said that twice. We bring in trees, well, a couple of trees or something. So I'm just concerned about the whole thing, but I really want to focus on the true reason why the MUD took possession of the property. It was condemned for flood mitigation, and therefore anything that does occur on it, you have to consider, are you making it worse or better for flood mitigation? And I would just be concerned that if something like this so organized, just like the previous meeting, I know Tom, he had some concerns that he was already bringing up, what about parking? Then there was a lot of quick conversation about shuttle. Well, shuttle's never going to work. Certainly the golf course isn't going to let people park there. They need their parking space for their patrons. And even though the MUD owns a little bit, that's certainly going to be enough. The furniture place certainly ain't going to do it. All those are nice little thoughts. Everybody's trying to work through it. Basically, it was going to be a snowball effect where eventually somebody's going to say, let's put a parking lot here. Now you got infrastructure. Now you got concrete or asphalt. Then somebody's going to think, well, we've got all these people here that's going to shut down the whole park for an entire weekend is what was being discussed. Now we need to build a pavilion in case the weather turns bad. Now that's more concrete. Well, they really need some restrooms. Now that's more infrastructure. Everything you do will be in a negative fashion for what the intent of taking, at least from my understanding, I don't have the benefit of being on the board and being in the executive committee in the meetings and so forth, but from my perspective and from what I understand and living here for so long and living on the course and watching the water come through there like a river, I just think it would be a huge mistake to do anything other than what is currently being done. Enjoy the green space. I shared when I first came in what I saw yesterday, going out to run an errand. There was a group of young boys out there playing flag football. I haven't seen people playing flag football forever. And I came back, they were still out there, very organized, and it just looked like a lot of fun. And that's, to me, what this area should be about, the park. I think I've got so many other things I could say, but I think I've got my point across. I'm not in favor of it or anything else that would bring in more people in our community. I get it, it's for the public, but we as the community are also the public, right? And so we should be the ones that it truly benefits the most for the flood mitigation concerns. So even the playgrounds and things like that have been talked about, anything you do that will create additional infrastructure will be a mistake from my humble opinion, as well as you're gonna be bringing in more people, more traffic, and they're gonna have no place to go. But I may be saying all this for nothing, because it could be that's y'all's already collective opinion, and if so, I apologize, but I just wanted to share my thoughts. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Mark.
Okay, I have two that didn't say, so Brian and Eric.
We're with bookkeeping.
Okay, all right. Dee?
My throat is kind of weird, so I don't think I'm missing anything right now.
Okay. Linda?
What he said.
Quotes?
Well,
Okay. Robert?
I concur with what the gentleman said also. I know there would probably be some insurance consideration for being liable for accidents may happen, such as falling in the collection box that's out there on Charleston. It has yet to have a fence put around it. You don't want to be on the line and have somebody injured out there that's running around. And so I think that's a really good idea to not proceed forward. And I think to save the gentleman time for just coming over here and doing the presentation, maybe y'all can have a vote and say we decide not to go forward and leave it like that.
All right. Is that it? Anybody that didn't sign? Are you done? Okay. I just want to make sure. You sound like you're going to go on. So, okay. All right. Next thing on the agenda is the settlement agreement with River Plantation Properties.
Okay, that is me. And I'll first of all say good evening, ladies and gentlemen and members of the board. And I just have a brief update for you. And so last time we talked, we were working on the judgment. We do have a final judgment now. It is signed, sealed, delivered by the judge, and we have even recorded it in the property records. So you are the official fee owners once and for all of the Charleston Park. So congratulations. Yes, seriously. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Y'all did a very good thing for the community. It's awesome, and I'm happy that to have been part of it, honored by that really. So great job, everyone. Just to tell you the last little kind of details there, you may recall as part of the settlement, you get back the $511,000 that's in the court registry. That's an excellent bump for the district. We filed all the documentation necessary to get that for you. We are waiting on the judge to sign that. The judge knows about it, and it just goes through the judicial process. But we hope by the next meeting to have you would have that in hand. I thought we would have it by now, but it's with forward, March, spring break time period. So I'm not totally surprised, but it has all been filed a couple weeks ago, and we're just waiting on the judge to sign the paperwork for us. And then the only other thing we have left to do on that is to dismiss our appeal. You may recall, we are participants in the HOA's lawsuit that started a few years ago, and we have a meritorious appeal, but we agreed to dismiss that if this was all successfully completed. So we're just about there. We're waiting on the money, but again, we're entitled to it. The documents have been filed, so I think probably tomorrow, subject to what happened tonight, we'll be filing those documents. And that's really it. So again, that's the update, and again, very well done on the part of everyone. So thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Yep,
Yes, sir.
thank you.
I'm glad to help.
All right. Are we good? Moving on to number 5. I'm gonna suggest we do Taylor next, and then we bump the bookkeepers up since we've got so many of them here, so they don't have to sit here all night. Okay. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Taylor.
Made the cut beforehand. All right, first item on the list is the permits, the stormwater quality management plan. That annual report is ready to be submitted on y'all's behalf. It has to be submitted before the end of the month. And so with y'all's approval, we'll get that overnighted to the TCEQ so that it's on record as y'all doing it in proper fashion. Moving on to the design projects. We were able to take bids on the sanitary clean and televise on 3/25/2022. That's attached to your report is the bid tab. The 2 low bidders, in fact the 3 bidders that came in, we have not worked with before. This is common in this sort of work. What happens is somebody breaks off some company and they move over, so it could be potentially that we work with the individuals, just not the company name. With that being said, we'll ask for a recommendation of award pending the review of the two low bidders and the references. Should I not feel comfortable recommending either one of those for award, I'll come back to the board in April and state such and kind of figure out where to go from there. The storm sewer clean and televised, that is set to bid 4.8, and those will be presented at your April meeting. And then the last item on the list is for the WS&D bond application number 9. We received the declaration administratively complete, which just means that all of the paperwork was in order. They've submitted it into their review process, and we are about halfway through the expedited review of that. So that is all I have. So just a quick rehash of the things I need for approval is to submit the TCEQ report for the annual stormwater quality management plan. A pending recommendation of award based on my review of the two low bidders, and that is it.
Okay. So do I have a motion for him to submit the TCEQ report?
Yeah, so moved.
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Do we have to authorize him to look at the two low bidders and possibly authorize the award?
Yeah, authorize the award pending our review of the two low
Yeah.
bidders.
I so move.
Okay. Do I have a
I second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's all I have, unless you guys have any other questions.
I do. Who's gonna talk about today's issue?
Well aware of that issue. I do want to note that Richard has been doing a
Okay.
phenomenal job of keeping me up to date all month.
Okay.
I'm sure he'll touch base with on it. I did provide
Yeah,
him
because
with.
I don't think the rest of these guys, I don't know, do you know? Okay, so these guys don't know, so you'll fill them in?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. got
I'm
it.
well within the loop though. Just
Okay,
I have a question for you regarding, it's been probably a year since you and I went out and inspected the culvert at Holly Springs. What's the latest on that? Are we gonna do anything? Is that entirely East Plantation?
No, there is some, I mean, it's a cost sharing thing. I know we shared the values and the report with East Plantation. A lot of that in my memory was discussed and kind of to put it on hold till you guys had the funds in the bank as well.
Okay.
To kind of revisit that issue. So I've kept it on the report as kind of a placeholder. But for now, that needs to get more in the weeds when we get money in the bank and we start working on agreements with East Plantation.
Okay.
Isn't that, am I not correct that most of the work there is East Plantation?
Yes, it's weird, it's pending how y'all's, so a lot of the work that needs to be done also falls on y'all's storm sewer as well, because it's literally the last pipe in East Plantation coming into the storm sewer in, River Plantation, and so y'all's 50-50 agreement for storm sewer projects based off of taking in their flow and y'all's flow is where it kind of gets into the.
Basically, I think that, in my opinion, that probably needs to be tabled until East Plantation's ready to come to the table and do something, because we really can't put a spade in the ground without their approval.
Right, and that's a lot of the discussion that's happened. It is directly affecting an East Plantation homeowner, and while I feel for him, it is more his mud district, not
Right.
should be coming to us and saying, hey, can you guys get this work out? So.
Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, I'm good. Bookkeepers, let's move that up. Bookkeepers, proposal for bookkeeping services. Okay, so first ones I have on the list are Brian and Eric from Clarity Consulting then. I'll let them,
Yeah, that's us.
I don't know the order y'all came in, so I'm gonna go that way. So,
Okay.
go ahead.
You want us to go first?
Sure.
All right. We wrote the questionnaires as well. I'll start. I'm Brian Deslitz with Clarity Consulting Corporation. That's Eric Gonzalez. We both actually came out of McCall Gibson. We're former Mud District auditors
Okay.
for a long time. And Eric actually used to work on your East Plantation audit, so he's familiar with a lot of what's going on. We've been doing this for about 10 years. We've got 12 districts that we work with. It's something that we've done for a long time, and, you know, we enjoy working with the public funds, making sure that, you know, we like to keep things by the book and make sure that the money's all accounted for, and kind of do a little strategic planning with the investments and try to help get some revenue where we can in this current environment. But there's a sample report in our proposal, kind of starting on page 7. So kind of what our reports look like, and that goes through page 7 through 11. But everything's kind of standard. We do the typical cash flow reporting. We track your bond sales, as we understand that you guys got a $6.95 million issue coming up here pretty quick.
Yeah, we
So-
just had a 1.6.
And you did a 1.6? Was that a park fund?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we're familiar with tracking the expenses and things for that. We can tell you, you know, is there any, what do you guys want to hear from us? I mean, all the bookkeeping is essentially the same. I mean, you want to hear about our team? We've got a cyber division. We do some cybersecurity work. We do some, but Eric and I run the financial division. We've got a couple of other people that help us as well.
Okay. I noticed you're off of Rayford Road.
We have a PO box there. Our office is actually a block west of the Woodlands Mall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's just where we get all of our mail.
Okay. So you're local?
Yes.
Okay. I think mainly, I just wanted to see, to compare everything. Where you look? Oh, East River, yeah, it's in there.
What's the latest price increase you provided for your existing customers?
We haven't done one.
You have that one?
We try to work everything under, our pricing model is we try to work on a flat fee. With some of the transition work that we've done, we have an hourly rate provision in there for some of the transition, but once we get beyond that, everything's pretty much covered under the base fee. There's a couple of one-off things, we've got a rate for special, if anything unusual comes up, like, we had a district recently ask about something that was unusual, and we legitimately had a district not too long ago that asked us to do a shrimp boil for one of their board meetings. So we showed, they're like, that fits under your hourly rate, and we're like, okay, whatever. So we have, you know, for that kind of catch-all one-off things like that. But we try to fit everything in under the flat fee.
How'd the shrimp boil go?
It was great.
Okay.
We didn't get invited.
Yeah. Well, we'll do it next month. No, but that's just, you know, just kind of the unusual.
Yeah. Okay. How long is your contract, a 1-year contract?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What you looking for?
It's on the top page.
What you doing over there?
Right where you can see it.
So,
Way over there, never a piece of paper.
Yeah.
okay. All right. Anybody else have any questions? No.
County's pretty,
It's,
kind of dry. isn't it?
county's not It's like playing a game. Okay. Okay, thank you guys. We'll consider it. Okay. Who else do we have? You guys? Okay, who are you with?
Elite bookkeeping.
Okay. Good. Thank you. So my first question to you guys is, we don't have a 1-year contract, that we can cancel it at 30 days notice?
So it's based off of a 1 year, but you can cancel within 30 days notice. It's up to you. So little bit about Elite Bookkeeping is that I have 15 years experience in bookkeeping, and I have 7 years experience with my districts, specifically in improvement districts. I'm a small bookkeeping firm, but I work with a lot of my districts, and I used to see Eric all the time. So it's kind of funny seeing him here tonight. He wanted to, fun people I used to love working with McCall.
Okay. Oh, you guys all used to work together?
I used to work for another firm,
Oh, okay.
another bookkeeping firm, and he was one of the best auditors we
Oh, I was gonna say,
had
that's
there.
funny.
Yeah. Well, we audited, that's how we did it. We audited
Oh.
our
Okay.
We were all sad when Eric left.
Everybody
Accounting
was
is
there.
not that small a world.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you give me an example? I know in accounting, you're not supposed to reveal your clients, you have confidentiality, but can you give me an idea of some MUD districts that you do around here?
Most of all my districts are down south, so.
South Montgomery County
No,
or
like
South Houston?
South Houston.
Wow, okay,
Yes. And right now I have 8 districts,
okay,
so. But
okay.
I am right down the road in Conroe up at 242 and 1485.
Oh, okay,
Yes, so I'm very local to you.
okay.
And I didn't bring a copy of my report, but I did provide one to Richard, so I apologize for not including one in
Okay.
there. But we do all the investment for you as well. And you can be the investment officers for the district, or we can work with your investment officer if you have one already appointed with the board.
How long have you been in business?
For yourself.
For myself, 2 years.
Okay.
Yes, sir. As far as Elite Bookkeeping LLC, but I've had a business going for a little over 9 years now.
Okay.
Okay.
They're all so right in the same ballpark. They're all
What's the name of this company?
elite bookkeeping.
Elite?
Mhm. Do we have anybody else? One more? Who's one? Carol. Do you want to do another presentation?
Oh, well, unless you have any additional questions for me,
What do y'all want to do? Y'all want to make a decision? Y'all want to table it, can look at these proposals?
I think we ought to look at it. Make a
Well, I-
Yeah, we gotta make a
Yeah.
decision by next month.
Actually, we were supposed to sign tonight.
right.
That's, so, okay, I do have a question. What happens if, since we couldn't get the information and can we extend for 30 days? And I know they want to sign contract tonight.
I'd have to check with my regional manager and get approval with him, you know,
Okay.
to go another 30 days. Because once I explain the situation, I would,
Right,
you know, there's a possibility.
okay.
Okay.
That means you, oh no, you'll be here, when you'll be
Yep. You can get next month,
here. Okay.
unless he's in
Somebody-
Peru.
You might want to do it.
Apples to apples.
He's there a year
So
ago.
we can look at what are.
I've been in Buenos Aires in London.
Oh,
Right now, I've got 2 or 3 pieces of paper, but
Yeah,
I don't have anything really to put something together with.
I can do that for the next meeting. So, could you check for us, Carol?
Yes,
See if
and
we can
I
do a
will.
month to month till we,
Yes, I will get back to you
Okay.
this week.
okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
we appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you. So, okay. If you guys want to hang out and see what we're like, probably not, probably won't believe it. You're more than welcome to, if you'd like to. Okay, thank you very much.
thank you.
Okay. Either way, all right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
No problem, thank you guys.
You don't have any questions for me regarding the card bookkeeping report, or?
I don't think so.
Okay.
All right. So number 8, we're gonna table until we get a chance to look at this. So we're back to number 6, financial and bookkeeping matters. I did have something that I have to remember what it was now. So, just in case you haven't seen the financials, we are still under budget, which is good, considering we're 5 months in, but I hope we're not going over budget in anything in 5 months. Our revenues are over budget also, which means we're bringing in, no, actually, for the year so far, they're over budget, so. We are still operating in the black. Yeah. So, and what I like to see is we're consistently 30 to 35,000 in the black every month, which is good.
We haven't started repairs yet.
I know, you'll hear some, as soon as we get Richard up here, you'll hear some that are coming up. So, yeah, okay.
That seems like a waste. Not an excess waste.
So are we gonna, do I have a motion to accept the bookkeeper's report?
I don't see anything.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion, we accept the bookkeeper's report
Okay,
for the month.
do I have a second?
Yes, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Tax assessor collector's report. Any questions on it, other than it's going down, down, down?
Well, it's supposed
Okay,
to.
I know, but that's just money we can't, it is where it is right now, so.
Yeah,
We're not gonna see, yeah, we're not gonna
8
see a whole
months.
bunch coming in. Okay. Tax assessor collector's report, everybody okay with it? Do I have a motion to accept it? Any questions on it?
I'll make a motion, we accept it.
Okay, second,
Second.
okay.
Excuse me.
Any questions on the investments?
Yeah, I didn't know they could get that low. I mean, when you got two numbers on the right side of a decimal point.
Well, it's just one account.
On the interest rate.
Yeah, oh, the interest rate, yeah, so, well, it'll be a negative next time where we'll be paying them.
I don't know,
So,
the way it's going, it might start going
It
down.
started going up.
okay. We got, anybody make a motion to accept the investments report?
We make a motion to accept.
Okay,
Second.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Approval of the payment of the district's bills. Any questions on the bills that need to be paid? They're not, well, I don't know, mine are in order,
I put it
so,
out there.
I haven't seen it.
yeah, it's right here.
Yeah, they're there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same
Yeah.
one. I looked at them earlier, so I
Yeah.
can.
Okay. So can I get a motion to approve the payment of the bills?
Yeah, I move to approve.
Okay, a second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. Administrative reports, Richard, that's you.
Okay. The administrative report that you have there is showing a couple of things I outlined that have been taking place in the district. We had some issues at a Fairway Village. We had to repair a 4-inch line. That 4-inch line apparently ran for over 2 weeks before we even knew about it.
Was it in someone's yard?
Yes, actually, it was under the street,
Oh,
going to the creek. But a neighbor just happened to notice that her neighbor's flower pots were all soaking wet all the time. That's the only way we caught it. She called and said, hey, can you call them up and tell them to shut off their water because it's starting to come into my yard now. So we went to check it out, and it wasn't the neighbor's yard. It was coming up from under the street and going that way. It wasn't a visual thing because it cracked right underneath a 24-inch storm drain. So it was going into the storm drain because the weight of the storm drain had sagged. That's what cracked the line. And all the water was going straight into the storm drain and out into the creek. So we would have never found it if that lady hadn't said something about it. So unfortunately, that's what's reflected in your system totals report, where you see a 20% loss, which is, I'm normally at around 2 or 3.
But look at how many people dropped below 50,000.
Well, yeah, but I would have not lost all that water either.
So what did it take to fix the,
We had to dig up the street, and they had to dig all the way underneath the storm drain to put a repair cut in
What
between
was
the
the
line.
cost on that?
I haven't got that one yet, it was just done recently too, so I'm waiting for that one to come back. And we're not finished with that project, so we still gotta put the asphalt back, once we get it, settled in. Then we had another broken water line this Saturday, which I got called out on, and one of our customers decided to chop a tree down, and in the process, he pulled the stump out and pulled the water lines out of the ground with it. So that's an issue when we get the bill for the board. If you want to send him the bill or not, that's going to be your decision, because he basically damaged our lines. So I'll leave that one up to you. The other one is we've got
How big a line was it?
it was only a 1-inch line, but the 1-inch line tied into the main line. So when he pulled the stump, it pulled the line out of his meter box, pulled it clear out of our taps.
So it pulled it out of ours?
Pulled it out of ours, yeah. What he damaged was everything on our side before the meter. See, we're responsible for everything before the meter. If it was after the meter, it would have been his issue. But unfortunately, it was on our side.
Hey, Davis, can I ask you to add, once we get the bill for that, or once we calculate the bill for that, can I ask you to add that to the agenda so we can consider what we're gonna do with that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, just the other day, we discovered a sinkhole on the corner of Brandon Road and RP Drive, started investigating that, and had it televised today, found out we have a collapsed line under the street. So right now I'm in the process of getting bids to either pipe burst it or to open, if we have to open cut it, we gotta tear the whole street out. And it's 12.5 feet deep, so it's gonna be a big hole, for that. So I'm working on that one right now. Taylor's involved with it, and I got another contractor coming out tomorrow morning, and I got another one working on it right now. I should have bids for that here within hopefully this end of this week. So fortunately, the line, even though it's collapsed, it's still partially functioning, so we're not in any trouble. That line only feeds a couple of houses going down the front part of RP Drive, where all of them where the what do you call it, frisbee, the disc park is. So we're not in a lot of trouble there. If I have to force pump it, I can, but right now we're in good shape. It's still flowing. So, but I'll keep you up to date on that one.
Can I
Yes.
ask Ted, that, it's like this whole area right here is where all those problems are happening. Because that's where, across the street is where the other two instances were.
right,
It seems to be that maybe the first area we need to televise to see.
As I was
What's going on?
explaining to Taylor, the reason for those issues right here, that's the area between the first Brandon Road all the way down to this corner here. When it jumps back across the street is where in the 70s they had a contractor working in there, and he majorly messed it up. So they had to fire him, sue him, and then bring another contractor, and then they moved the whole line to the other side of the street. What we're dealing with is the remnants of the original line. And so that's the problem we have. So,
And as Richard was feeding me these breaks, we're putting it in our maps to say,
Okay.
okay, we're seeing it repeated offenders over here.
Right.
mhm.
So,
Okay.
good.
we're doing our best to monitor.
Okay.
Okay,
What other good news do you have?
Sounds like that nightmare we talked about.
Did the gentleman on, what the heck was it? Augusta or Atlanta
nope,
ever come back?
never submitted anything.
Okay.
So that's an open deal then, I guess.
Okay.
It's open.
Other than that, that's all I have. Everything else is, the rest of the plants are all functioning fine, with no problems with them.
The repairs are getting ahead of us before we got ready for them.
Luckily, we've been able to hold them off this long.
Yeah,
I do have one other issue that I need to bring up as a management issue here. I have here that I'll submit to the board. I was asked to give this to you. This is Gerard Smith's official resignation letter. So he's officially resigning to the board. So he delivered that today to me.
So Richard, you delivered a resignation letter before the start of this meeting and it's dated today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, it doesn't have a time, I don't, does it have a time?
Well, it's 28
Yeah, it's
March
just
22.
today, yeah.
He delivered that around 2:30. So,
Did he sign it?
yeah, he signed it. So, that's all I have on the administrative side.
Okay.
Does that mean a special election or?
Yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the board gets to appoint someone.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Yes.
You appoint someone who's qualified to serve the remainder of the term.
Okay. So,
What are you doing, Dee? You have experience.
Come on,
I nominate Dee.
well, I'll give you my opinion. My opinion is we step back and we make sure we get somebody, the right person. You know,
There's no rush, is there, Davis?
No.
No, you do need to,
What's
I mean,
next?
you do need to fill the vacancy in a timely fashion, but I will say, you know, I think 60 days or something like that would be perfectly reasonable to handle it. I will tell you, it will
Yeah.
certainly simplify things with
Oh,
the
yeah, I know.
Attorney General's
Yeah.
office
No,
in the midst of a bond sale. You know, to get that behind you before we, you know, before we start changing directors. We do have to document, we have to submit a document to the Attorney General's office called a certificate of incumbency. And it has to show all of the directors and their terms and the officers and everything. And so the timing of an appointment can be complicated in the middle of the bond sale.
But that gives us time to figure it out.
All of that's to say, we should hurry or we
No,
should wait?
We should wait.
It would be helpful to wait. It really is only 2 meetings, right? So you can discuss it next month and then appoint it in May if you'd like to. I think that would be very expedient. I can go ahead and include an item on the agenda next month if you'd like me to, just for discussion purposes.
We should
So,
probably
yeah.
canvass people that we know or whatever, possibly even put something on the website if anybody has an interest.
Well, or I was gonna say, bring a couple of names who you think.
That's what I'm saying, canvass the people you know, bring those names, and I don't know if we should put something on our website that there is a potential opening. Anyone that would have an interest should notify one of the, you know, Richard or somebody, and then we can go from there at the next meeting. Narrow it down.
Yeah, just remember, y'all can all do your own due diligence, but you can't talk about it in between meetings. I know y'all, I just want to remind, because it's easy to forget, and it's very natural to want to do that. So you just can't talk to each other about your recommendations in between the meetings.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we don't need, do we need a motion to table this until, no? Okay.
There's actually not an agenda item, so it's
Okay.
really just an item for next month's agenda for discussion.
Okay.
So I'll add an item to discuss the vacancy, you know, next month, and y'all can decide how you want to proceed.
Okay.
So with the, you know, replacement process.
Okay. 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 Is that all you had, Richard?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can I skip for just a second? You guys came in late, so did you have something you wanted to address the board?
Me?
Or do you just wanted to see what the
Is it
meetings were
me?
like?
I was here, I wanted to, be here for number 2.
Oh, they
And I-
didn't show up.
Okay, he had soccer, so I apologize for being late, but I wanted to see what that
Yeah,
was
he didn't
about.
show up, so I think, are you gonna contact him and see if
I'll
they're gonna show
try.
up at the next meeting?
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay.
So next meeting?
Yeah,
I don't,
hopefully.
personally, I don't know why we would
Well,
even
that's-
pursue it. If he wants to show up and make
That's
his
what I'm
presentation,
wondering.
that's fine.
Well, they may be,
But we
been
did
out of
change
town.
it.
I left a message and I didn't get
Yeah,
back with them.
and we
so.
did change the date of the meeting. We did, I mean,
Oh,
I'll
you-
give them that. We did change the date of the meeting.
Yeah, but
So-
my problem is that I've looked at some of these things and what I'm seeing, I don't see anything that benefits the neighborhood. I mean, I can see what he's trying to do and it makes sense, but we are set up as a profit center. We can't capitalize it, we can't charge for parking, we don't have sufficient space for parking.
Well, and,
Everybody's in agreement with
I mean, I will
the
say,
entrance.
I don't even know where we can talk. Can we talk about this, since it was, I mean,
You do have the presentation from Lone Star Disc on the agenda.
Okay.
I think you can make a decision on whether or not you want to receive
Go
a
for it.
presentation from Lone Star Disc. It's up to the board.
okay. I mean, I will say, I did do some homework and watch some of the things on the internet, and when I saw the traffic, it was like going to a golf tournament.
That's
And
my
it was-
point, I don't see any win for the subdivision
Yeah.
or the district.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was that much.
Yeah, because I see it
Traffic.
as mass, if it got to where I think he wants to take it, and I can't blame him for that, it's a good idea. And our venue would be good for him, but I don't see any benefit for us,
Yeah.
is my problem. I mean,
Well, and I got turned off,
I
I
would
said
even make a
18
motion
holes.
that we just let him know that
So-
we
Well, it
decided.
said 18 holes, but it was gonna be
In
fit
2
in
or
9
3
holes.
Yeah,
in like 4 holes.
yeah.
I mean, they're basically probably,
Just saying.
There's really, there's nothing, it's just gonna have people in people's yards, I mean, you look at those crowds, we're gonna have people all over everybody's properties. And as far as I'm concerned, I'd make a motion that we just let him know that we decided it's probably not the right thing for us to do
For the subdivision.
for our subdivision.
I would second that motion.
Okay. Okay. All in favor?
I would say aye.
Aye.
I'd say aye. Looking at those yes.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I don't really know everything, all the details. If I'm correct, Mr. Blackburn previously owned the property, correct?
It was part of the golf course.
And now RPMUD owns it.
Correct.
Yes.
And my understanding from what I was told was that it would remain the way that it is now, that MUD owns it. We won't be worried about things like this happening.
That's what we just.
It was purchased as a park for public use.
So my hopes
So
were
we
that it
have-
would stay that way.
Huh?
My hopes were that it's gonna stay that way.
It could have some minor modifications, we could put like
Right.
some picnic tables out there.
Well,
some
we were talking about
chairs.
benches on the walking trail and modifying, fixing the golf cart path.
I think things
Where
like
it's
that would be
broken.
amazing for the community. But some outside place coming in, especially at the entrance.
They wouldn't take care
My
of our
parents live
property.
on-
They
yeah.
wouldn't-
But we just
It's trash.
said we don't wanna see the presentation, we just
Good.
passed that.
Well, no, I definitely appreciate that. I'm just wondering if things will continue, like presentations and other people trying to come in and do these things.
No, and actually, last night, there were some people on motorbikes.
My mom sent me a video of that, yes.
You know, was that your mom that made the video? Because I saw a video last
I don't
night.
wanna get her.
No, no,
people
no.
upset.
I was gonna say, somebody sent me
I
the
saw a video
Yeah.
She
last
texted,
night.
to my knowledge, only to me, so I'm not sure.
Okay. I saw a video, and it's not the first one I've seen.
Yeah.
That kid on one of
Oh.
that was in front of my street going 90 miles an hour down my street.
Oh, well, this was in the middle of Charleston, a
Yeah.
dad and a kid,
I
Yes.
saw a picture
And
of
not
the
the same
dad, and the dad
ones.
was on my street.
not the same ones from
You
last
know,
time.
we've just gotta get them to stop parking, we've gotta get them to stop using the facility for that.
Because even though it's public property, it's still not, would you give me your address and let me do that in your front yard?
Did you see all the cars parked all on?
I did not see it, I heard about it.
Yeah, I don't know what that
So.
was either.
it was flag football.
Between the two Braxton Brags, right?
Yes.
They were
Oh,
parked
yeah.
up on the grass on Charleston.
About 20 cars.
Past the tree line. So,
What,
and then
on the street side?
no,
RP?
on the park side.
On
Cars on the
Brad.
cart.
Yeah, no, not the cart path. Between the cart path and the tree line is what I was told.
Correct.
And then here's the, did you see the video of the motorcycles?
Can't see that either.
Oh, where's that posted? Next door?
Somebody sent it to me. Somebody sent it to me, I don't know, Saturday or Sunday, whatever day it was.
I can show you if you wanted to see.
That's down by the gazebo.
They do that on jobs with a sinkhole.
That's right.
All they would do is hit one sinkhole.
Yeah, but then they would sue us.
That's the problem, you're right.
Yeah.
And
So,
they sue us because they're violating the number 2 thing on the thing. that
that's
says
it. No motor
motorized
vehicles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, how's the signs coming along, the new signs? Did you place the order for them?
Nope, not until the board approves it.
Have they approved it?
We had to approve the language, right?
Right, you just approve the language, but
And I don't know that
It's
we,
not on the agenda.
agenda, yeah.
It was on next month, I thought.
You approved the revised rules.
Yeah.
But we
already-
didn't approve the signage. Does
That's
that
all the
matter?
same.
Is that the
If
same?
you want to put an agenda item on for the signage, you can. You can also appoint a board member to oversee it if you'd like to. However you prefer to handle it, if you don't want, Richard to.
Make them big and heavy so they don't steal them.
Well, I would like to get it done as quickly as possible, so if we need to make it an agenda item for next month, let's do it. And get it done before Memorial Day. And in the summertime, crowds come in.
How long does it take
If
them
we,
to print
if
them?
we approve the wording, do we have to approve putting the wording on a sign?
It does not have to be an agenda item.
right, that's right.
You can ask Richard to do it. You
Right.
can appoint a board member to work with Richard, to approve the language, however you prefer to handle it. I mean, you have adopted the rules. Right. This is just, a tool to help implement the rules.
Do you want to oversee the verbiage?
Do you want somebody to look at?
Let me suggest this, board members, we being our law firm wrote the verbiage last time, there's no way anyone would remember that, it was a year and a half ago.
I do.
I remember.
Yeah, it was part of the Charleston Park condemnation, right? So we passed the ordinance, we wrote the rules, and so, Davis is correct, it's part of your agenda items with Richard. This is something that can be done. If you'd like, we can work with him to get a proposal together for you on what the new signs would look like, because we've already got the template. I think it's just changing a few lines.
Can we appoint somebody like Tim or you
You
or
won't.
somebody to
Won't be me
approve
this
it
time
and
of
then
year.
do it?
Don't me either.
Huh?
Realistically, all I need is the verbiage you want on the new signs, and I can order the signs and they'll be done.
To approve it.
It's not a big deal to order them or to put the post up. All I need is the final verbiage you want done since the
All right,
changes were
I'll
made.
work with you, Davis, or
Sure.
Paul, whoever. I'll work with you
Sounds good?
to get it done.
About the
That
website.
sounds great.
And the rest of the board can accept it.
About
You
posting them on the
let the board
website?
Yeah, it's on the website.
To do it for the board.
Well, the old rules are,
The
not,
old rules, I'm talking
yeah,
about the new ones,
yeah,
yeah. And they include that.
yeah,
That's easy.
okay. All right,
Okay.
y'all happy?
Yep.
Okay. All right, number 10, resolution authorizing the issuance and distribution of the 6.95 unlimited tax bonds.
Okay, this is your POS, the nice thin document that distributed that has RBC's logo on it. Leslie Cook with RBC is here to talk to you about the sale of your bonds. If you remember, selling the bonds is we go through a couple steps with the actual sale itself. Today, we approve the preliminary official statement. Next month, we receive the bids and award the sale, and then we'll close, about 30 days later. It's currently scheduled for May 26th. So that's assuming everything goes, the TCQ stays on schedule and approves the sale in a timely manner. So Leslie, floor is yours.
Great, Davis. Hi, good evening. I'm Leslie Cook. Like Davis said, I work with Lauren Morales, the Capital Markets. And today on the agenda, like Davis said, we're approving the issuance and distribution of the preliminary official statement. I trust that the board members with 60-page document. It's really two documents in one. It's a notice of sale and then the preliminary official statement. Sorry if there's a background noise. I think someone started a blower outside, of course, with my name. As a reminder, this is for the 6.95 million unlimited tax bonds for water, sewer, and drainage purposes. The good news is the process for issuing these bonds is very similar to the process that you just went through for the park bonds. So now and pricing, which will occur at next month's meeting. So later, we have it scheduled for March 28th right now. We will be finalizing these documents. We will be advertising for the bonds to potential purchasers of the bonds, and we will be disseminating the notice of sale and the preliminary official statement for potential initial purchasers. That is, of course, if we do receive approval from the TCEQ before that. As a reminder, we did receive bonds. There were 5 bids that we received. They were sold competitively in January, and the interest cost of bonds was just about 3%. I will tell the board that between January and now, I can't tell you what's going to happen between now and a month from now when we price the bonds. The rates in the municipal market have definitely increased. So we're seeing rates credit similar to yours, closer to 3.5% to 4%. Just to manage expectations, but of course it is a little bit higher. But we have assumed that interest rate in our schedules to the TCEQ, in our debt schedules that we're including in the preliminary official statement. So has the capacity to afford the bond interest rate, but of course we can't control what the market does. We'll of course, we are a little bit of we're in sort of an interest rate rising environment, as I'm sure you've all heard. Raymond James was the purchaser of the park bonds. As I said, we received 5 bids. I assume we'll have similar interest. 5 bids is a great number, but anywhere from 3 to 5 is perfectly acceptable. I don't know if the board brought copies of the document with them. I trust that Lauren Murat, my colleague, was very review of the notice of sale and preliminary official statement for the park bonds. And I will say that the documents are extremely similar. Of course, these are being issued for a different purpose, and so the sources and uses are going to be different. The par amount is different, but a lot of the legal language, the financial language, the language of the system, well, really same as the prior document. So then I'm not going to go through anything. I'm happy, of course, for any questions if the board has anything at this. But I think that's it on our end. And so it just invitations for next month's meeting. Again, assuming we get approval from the TCEQ, we will be presenting the results of the bonds at next month's meeting, and the board will be officially awarding the bonds to the lowest bidder. Davis, is there anything I'm missing or that you wanted to add there?
I think you summarized it well. I'll just I think pointing out the district items. This is water plant, wastewater treatment plant, fire hydrant, sanitary sewer, storm sewer, drainage channel, ditch. These are all kind of the priority 1 projects that were identified by your engineer, one of which we discussed tonight, which is the cleaning and televising. That project will be paid for from these bond proceeds. And so we just need a resolution to authorize the distribution of the offering documents so that we can come back to you, hopefully, assuming the TCQ gets everything done on time, with bids at your next meeting. And candidly, I'll tell you that in the event that we, had an issue with the TCQ, we'd probably be looking at, maybe a special meeting shortly thereafter to schedule the sale. So we are, you filed your application 45-day expedited. So, we are expecting to have approval from the TCQ at least a week before your next meeting, at least draft approval. So we should be, we should be fine, but just want to make everyone aware of that. So
I got a question about Raymond James owning the bonds for the green space. Is it advantageous for us, and I know it's a bid, I totally understand that, but is it advantageous for us, for them to own both sets of bonds? Doesn't matter.
So while they purchase the bonds initially, they will sell the bonds, don't usually keep it on. And so it doesn't really hinder or benefit the district either way. Ideally, the sale went well for Raymond James, and they will be interested in bidding again, and that they did have interest in bondholders wanting to purchase the bonds. It is a good indication that you're back in the market, and that the bonds sold out of, and that you were also able to achieve bond insurance, which was able to lower your net interest costs on the last sale. And so we're hoping to get that again. When you haven't been in the market for a long time and you re-enter the market, it's always a little bit riskier. And so a recent sale will make everyone a little bit more comfortable. And so I'm feeling optimistic that there will be several bidders for these bonds. But if it's Raymond James or another player that's very active in the Texas special districts market, does it make a big difference? You just want the lowest bidder.
Okay.
good question though, Tim.
We need a motion to authorize the distribution of the official documents.
I so move.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, all right. Can I, there was one thing I wanted to ask Richard and I just remembered what it was. What did we decide to do with the ditch that Tim told you about, where you could get, where they had the equipment available? Wasn't that last month?
Yeah.
Or was it the month before?
Skid steer
The
with
skid steer?
with the blade.
They still don't have one. They have actually 4 skid steers
I thought you had it.
on the property now, but they're all tired. They're not track hose. But we need the track steers because the tires don't work.
Did you call the place he told you to call?
They didn't have a track one either. Tires, yes, not track. Everybody wants the tracks because you can use those through mud and everything.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I understand that, so, but I thought that was something you had made clear to him. Okay. All right, back on to number 11. Operators proposals. Authorize contract negotiations with management company. What do we want to do? Do we want to pursue it? We need to talk about it, vote on it, whatever we want to do with it.
I know I've talked about it until I'm ready to vote. Tom, what about you?
Yeah.
I think any of them could do the job, it's just,
Okay.
I think we just agree on who's be the best, but.
So here's what I see is, first of all, we need to take a vote whether we're gonna go that direction. Secondly, we need to take a vote on who we want to authorize them to enter into negotiations with. Everybody agree? Okay, all right, so. Do I have a motion that we pursue the management company?
I make a motion that we pursue a management company.
Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, all right, secondly, which one? Is it
Well, we
second?
got,
Yeah,
this is the first.
yeah, okay. Huh?
We have two that were bidding. One was municipal operations,
One was
They were the
WMD.
second company, right?
and
That
one
presented?
was,
WMD.
Oh,
WMD.
WDM.
yeah. WD.
WDM.
waste, waste,
David.
Water
Water District
water
Management.
district management.
WDM, yes.
Okay.
I think WMD is what is it, Master's Drug. I have that in my mind.
Okay,
Yes, it
not in the mud, we don't need that. Okay, so, do we, how do I say this? Who is in favor of WDM? Do I have any votes for WDM?
This is water district management.
Yeah, the first one.
No, that's the second
I
one.
vote for either one, but I think WDM has some more personal issues that could help us. They're willing.
So are you voting for them?
I would, and they also were doing it. I'd tell you, I'd vote for either one, they can both do the job.
Okay, well, okay, so you gotta vote, so you have to make up your mind, so
Okay,
which one
I'll
do
vote for
you?
WDM,
Okay, you're gonna vote for WDM. Tim,
but that we don't have a resolution on that.
I like Muni.
Muni, okay, huh?
It's a larger.
We have,
it's
we
more
have a authorized contract
No,
negotiations,
that's
we
not
have
what I
to,
said. We haven't opened it up to vote for one yet. As far as I know.
okay. Do I have a motion that we take a vote?
Just
On
say
which
who you
one?
want. Just say who you want.
Well, I was going to, but then you just said me, I'd have a.
Davis, how do we do this?
Yeah, I just need some direction on who.
Who to pursue.
I mean, this is essentially an approval subject to negotiation of a contract. You won't hire, anybody until, we have completed those negotiations and worked out, timing and transition and all that stuff. But I do need you to effectively select an operator. I can tell you that, we have clients with contracts with both of these operators, and I'm confident, that we can get a contract together in a timely manner. It'll just be a question of, effective date, transition timing, that kind of stuff, so.
All right. Muni ops?
Muni.
Muni ops?
Okay, then
Many ops.
just make a motion that we do
Okay.
that. Let's do it.
You have to vote.
I'll
And you
vote.
either have to vote Muni ops or WDM or abstain.
Let's just go with Muni Ops, if that's what
Okay.
three people want, let's do it.
I have a motion that we accept the Muni.
Okay.
That's
That we
what I'm
pursue the
saying.
municipal operation?
I second.
Okay. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right. Do we need an executive session?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Are we done? Okay. April 28th, 6:30 PM.
Wow,
That was fast.
Unless it changes.
740.
Okay.
8.
Pending signing checks.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Pending signing checks.
And I think we have something from